Okay, I've had a lot of questions since I did the beef gravel video. Emberado, how would you use that? How would you divvy out the equivalent of 1 pound of ground beef from dehydrated beef that you barely know what it weighs as it is in the bag? Well, it's a lot easier than you might think. Let me put it this way, okay? We know what it weighed before it was cooked. That was 5 pounds of ground beef. We know what it weighed when it was cooked and washed. 36.8 ounces. So it's a simple idea of doing the math, and the math tells me that 1 pound of raw ground beef equals 7.1 ounces of the dehydrated beef. So we're going to put a bowl on here, and we're going to tare it as soon as this thing cooperates. The bowl weighs, oh, wait a minute, There we go, now we're on ounces. And the bowl weighs 1.1 ounces, but we're going to tare that. Yeah, bother. And now I need 7 ounces of the dehydrated ground beef. Believe it or not, that's only 2 ounces. That brings us up to 5 3/4. A little too much. Close enough. 7.6. That is the equivalent of 1 pound raw hamburger, as far as the amount of meat that's contained in the bowl. That wasn't too difficult, now was it? Just simple math, boys and girls. Now, why did I do that? Well, let's turn you around here. And don't mind the stove. I have quit cleaning it. The wife and daughter don't clean it anymore. Why should I, since we're out of here in a couple of weeks? I will be anyhow. Now, I'm going to put 2 cups of water and let that simmer. And I'll bring you back when it's rehydrated. Okay, here's what I've done since I last had you in here. I've separated what was left of the broth off of the ham. I mean off the hamburger meat. Tastes like it was just fried. Yummy. Now, the reason I separated up what was left of the juice is this calls for 8 cups of water. And we don't want to go way overboard. It's only supposed to cook for 10 to 12 minutes. So, follow me over here to the sink full of dirty dishes. Yeah, that's because I've been too lazy to wash in the last day or 2. I haven't been feeling too well. This is a 4-cup cup measure, and it calls for 8 cups of water. Well, it's going to be, at least in part, beef pocket soup, because that's what that brown liquid is. Oh goodness, from boiling the hamburger. Now, in future, I will probably do this recipe in a camp setting, and I will only use half the package. So instead of 7 ounces of ground gravel beef gravel, I will only use about 3.5. Now my total stewing time for the meat, to bring it back to like it was before it was dehydrated, 45 minutes. Give or take a couple. I really didn't pay that much attention to it. So, there's our flavorful broth. Everything works better with a nice flavorful broth. And let's take a look at inside the package. Let me touch down so you can get a good look. There it is. It's beans and veggies. Supposed to be 3 beans. Looks like kidney beans, black beans, and I'm not sure, maybe Great Northerns? Not sure. And all the seasonings. In it goes. And in goes the ground beef now. As I said, the only reason I separated it was so that I could measure the amount of juice. We don't want to go too far overboard. And I'll be right back because I got to go grab this. Wait a minute, it's right here. What am I thinking about? Went and bought myself a safety can opener. There was one here my daughter absconded with, so had to go buy my own. It's all right. She did the same with the shower head. She absconded with that too. It's all right. I'm a prepper. I was ready for that. I actually saw all this crap happening 4 years ago. I foresaw it. I knew it was going to happen. And I am basically prepared for all of it. Almost. Let me be clear. I thought I had another year or 2 before this all went down. I didn't. Well, you know what they say. Crap happens. And looky there, looky there. Well, let's turn this heat on. And we're going to scrape every bit of that tomato paste into this pot. Just wish I had some diced tomatoes to throw in here. I don't. That's okay. We're going to make it just slightly more than directions call for. And we'll see how it turns out. Now, package directions say to let this simmer. Bring it to the boil, turn it down, let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. Well, I'm going to let it simmer just a mite bit longer. I'll probably have it simmering for a half hour, 40 minutes. Of course, I'll be checking on it from time to time to see, but I'll bring you back when it's ready to plate up. Tell you what I just realized I still had in there that hasn't been sent to storage. Can of crushed tomato. I don't have the dice, but I got the crushed. So I'm going to add that in there too. Now, why would I take the time to wash and let dry a tomato paste can? What possible use could this, with a fit-on lid, what possible use could that can be? Well, candle maybe? I'm actually thinking maybe a grease lamp. Or a citronella oil candle, maybe. We'll see. I haven't decided yet, but any of the 3, that can is perfect for. Maybe I'll get some citronella oil and put it into the plain wax and make my own citronella candle. Remember, after about another week, probably by the 7th of July, I will be living outside in a hobo camp. For a while. My spouse thinks that she's going to force the sale of my Durango so she can claim half of it. Well, I tell you what, I went to see the local Dodge dealership today and had them come out and appraise my vehicle based on all the damage on it. The dealership told me that, and mind you, they only did the outside damage from my wife and daughter driving it. They missed they failed to take note of the missing gas cap cover. They failed to take note of the scratches on the roof. And they failed to take note of the damage to the 2 front seats done by my wife. I won't go into detail how she damaged them, just suffice to say she damaged them. That looks a little more like... Oh, you know what I just noticed? This chili mix also has rice in it. Kind of tasty. Needs some time to cook. Needs some salt, I think. We'll talk about that later. Anywho, so the dealership told me maximum value $250 between the physical body damage, the busted lights, and the worn tires, which I don't think were worn, but that's my opinion. He's the guy that did the appraisal. He's been used car salesman, used car dealership appraiser for 28 years. That's right. He obviously knows his business. But like I said, he failed to take into consideration the seats, the gas cap cover, and labor to install. So I called the local junkyard to find out what a pair of decent used front seats for my vehicle would cost. $100 a piece. Gas cap cover door, $40. Plus labor to install. That means my vehicle is a total. It's a total loss. And guess what? That means she can't get nothing from nothing. But the vehicle that she and my daughter just bought, in both of their names, well, guess what? That was their mistake. Because they put it in Mom's name as well. That makes it community property. No, I don't want the little crap box, and I don't want to make them sell it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer the wife an out-of-court settlement. She signs off on the Durango, and I sign off on the little Hyundai piece of junk they've got. We each have a vehicle, and never the twain shall meet again. I think that sounds fair. I'm going to be eating chili for the next couple days. Yummy. I love chili. I'll tell you that much right now. Now this is not going to be as good as my own homemade. No way, Jose. But I think it'll be pretty tasty. We'll see. So I'll bring you back after this has had some time to cook. Okay. I've just taken a taste of this. This has been simmering for about an hour. And while it's kind of tasty, it really is lacking something. So we're going to add, this is just a simple can of black beans. And I'm going to throw in a small handful of rice and let it simmer another hour. And see what that does for it. That chili mix, well, it's supposed to be spicy, not so much. So I'm going to doctor that up a little bit too. So, can of black beans. And, as I say, let's kick it up a notch. Well, okay. Hear my timer going off? That's telling me to check my oven. Because to go with my chili today, which is ready to just shut right off now, let me go shut that timer. It's not very loud, but it drives me nuts. To go with it, in the oven, I prepared a bread product. Something called garlic knots. Yes, my light went off in there. Now this is what the directions say to do to this bag. Good enough. Let it sit for a few minutes. Now, I would grate this to go on my chili, but I'm moving and I've already moved my grater to storage. So I'm just going to slice off some little hunks that I can stir into my chili, and they'll melt that way just fine as long as I slice them relatively thin. Matter of fact, let's shut that oven off. I actually have a wooden cheese slicing board with a wire cutter, but that's also been moved to storage. So we'll just go do this the old-fashioned way with a sharp knife and call that good. Now here's how I try to keep this cheese from going dry and hard. I roll the top of the bag up good and thorough, and then I just simply put a clip on it. Just a minute. Oh. So, here's where we're at. No, I don't have a ladle. They're also moved to storage already, so I just got to do the best I can with what I got. Hot stuff, baby. It's pretty clear I'm going to have plenty for lunch or something tomorrow. Okay. Oh bother, I forgot. Now I need a clean spoon. That's what my grandmother would have called waste not, want not. And good heaping dollop sour cream to go in my chili. Yummy. Now I've tasted this, so I know. It also needs a further splash of Tabasco. And there you have it. Chili and not sure where I put that plate. So, let me get these out of the way. Funny how my sheet steel camp griddle serves so well as a baking sheet. So, a bag of garlic knots and a bowl of chili. Yummy! From the Smithy. Peace out. There it is with the sour cream and whatnot in it. And I'll tell you what, it's nowhere near as good as my own homemade, but it ain't terrible. And you'd be surprised just how well that beef comes back from being dehydrated into gravel when you allowed it to simmer long enough. It's very tasty. And it's not hard, it's just as tender as if I'd fresh cooked it right now. Well, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this. Peace out. By the way, don't forget to